Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about some of the sneak peeks that CIG hid in their recent Inside Star Citizen. Also, the evolving story content, some of which is going to be going in our future patches, some of which is going on now. These are monthly patches as well. Lots of story content is going to be thrown at us that we can get involved with. CIG genuinely look to have quite a lot of meat on the Star Citizen bones of those missions. We have an explanation of the current story arc, and we're going to be taking a look at the latest Alpha 4.0.2 Open PTU patch. Inside Star Citizen Content Driven was the latest ISC we had, and there were some sneak peeks at the beginning of the show. We saw a Star Kitten racing suit, which was very cool, but I would have liked to have seen the helmet there have some little cat ears. Also, we saw a Star Kitten skin for the Pulse. If you like the sort of more elaborate skins, if you like something that is, more styled towards racing, then this is pretty cool. If you like Star Kitten. Zin will probably like these, although she'll be sad with the lack of cat ears. There are loads of FPS armors and gear and FPS weapons that CIG are making for the game and going to be putting in from patch to patch going forward, it looks like. The Perseus is also in the background of one of the shots, and it's having a bit of a fight. We know that CIG have been working on the Perseus. I think it's going to be the next big ship that is released, and it's probably not too far away. So in the rest of the Inside Star Citizen, CIG opened up about the evolving story missions and monthly content. So part of the regular monthly updates with Star Citizen are these narrative evolving missions, and they evolve based on player action, what faction wins, because it's all factional warfare and pyro and that sort of stuff. So the current narrative story arc started in 3.24 with the Slicers and their aggressive incursion into Stanton. We had the Save Stanton narrative mission set that then moved into Fight for Pyro, and it looks like they move on to the next major phase, the next major storyline as part of these arcs with each of the minor patches. So point patches mean typically a new narrative mission, it seems. So as we moved into the Fight for Pyro, after we had fought the Slicers and pushed them back to Pyro, you had to pick a faction when you went to Pyro. You could go to the Citizens for Prosperity, who are the good guys, the Headhunters, who are the professional bad guys, and the Frontier Fighters, who are the burn it all and wipe the system clean guys. So players completing these missions will evolve a narrative story. The mission components get reused in the future, though, for many other missions, because these narrative story mission sets have rewards and limited times to get those rewards, and those rewards potentially will never be in the game again, and those missions in exactly the way that they've been told won't be in the game again, but they will be reusing those mission components and everything they've built for, the future missions, for Star Citizen 1.0, all that sort of stuff. Interestingly, Phase 3, the current phase of Fight for Pyro at time recording, it's out now. It's purely narrative. So there are rewards for completing Phase 1 and 2. And this one is sort of like just telling you more of the story. Now, there's now for a UBC reward, though, for completing these missions. Phase 3 basically reveals, spoilers, that the Slicers were actually masquerading as the Frontier Fighters. So if you've been working for the Frontier Fighters, you've basically been working for the Slicers, it seems. There is more to this story, and actually the evidence was there when playing, especially if you were working for the Citizens for Prosperity. But all the Fight for Pyro stuff, Phase 1 to 3, is currently playable. When you pick a faction, you are kind of soft locked into that when you start because of the rewards. There's the Ripper SMG, but also some liveries for the faction that you picked. Anyway, it's CIG's plan to have a story arc, like an A story, running through, and this current one is going to be running through until September, but there's also going to be a second set of narrative missions running at the same time, a B story. That's going to be coming in around April and ending in October. All these dates are rough, but basically, two big narrative arcs running simultaneously. Maybe they'll feed into each other a little bit, but if you don't like one, you can get involved with the other, you can get involved with both. When these stories conclude, new ones will turn up. Also, I should point out that typically with these events, phases and bits like this open up weekly or fortnightly. So we're actually getting updates for these missions much more than monthly. CIG much more pushing towards being a live service than a development as a service. But also, this doesn't replace plans for the story that CIG and Star Citizen has for 1.0. In fact, this appears to be building towards it. I want to give some opinions on the story so far. If I had any criticism for CIG and that story that we've been participating in, if you're playing now, is that it's pretty light on hooks and being clear exactly what's going on. I didn't feel like I was much part of a story, is what I'm saying. Maybe that's just me. There was a lot of I had to dig into the story and look at it. The burden of finding out what was going on was purely on me. There's not much telling of the story. There's not much grabbing you and going, this is their story, which sometimes I need to sort of keep me on track and to keep me like, give me a bit of a recap. What's going on? Cool. Yeah, I'm on board. Also, bugs when trying to complete these missions could be like a brick wall preventing you from progressing and wasting time, and I was much more anxious about getting rewards than anything else. I do, however, like twists and gasp moments. The story that CIG are trying to tell is actually pretty solid, and it felt like if I was pulled into it more, or it was revealed to me more obviously, and maybe it's just that I'm a dum-dum, if it was revealed to me more obviously, then I'd actually go, oh, this is absolutely fantastic. But I hope that's relatively constructive feedback for CIG because, yeah, pull me more into the story and I'm going to be having a great time. CIG did answer some questions about the Fight for Pyro, which all phases are fully playable until 4.0.2 goes live. There are some missing rewards for people that have completed the 2 phases of Fight for Pyro and the previous Save Stanton and Fight for Pyro. You can submit a ticket if you want, but CIG are working on it. There was a question asking, what does completing phase 3 of Fight for Pyro actually mean? Do we have to do a certain amount of missions? Is there a reward? CIG responded, it's a purely narrative phase with the truth revealed about the frontier fighters and slicers. They're pulling back for now. This part serves as a narrative conclusion and also a moral cleanser for anyone that was tricked and feels bad about murdering an entire solar system. If you are purely reward orientated, you don't need to complete or play phase 3, but you know, it's part of the story, it's cool. So yeah, we can expect loads more mission content going forward from patch to patch, from potentially every fortnight getting new phases and stuff. In a previous video, I said I didn't know if CIG were being reactive after like a bad patch launch when they were talking about making Star Citizen more playable. But looking at what they've got for these missions and the arcs and everything, it actually looks like they did have this planned. Hopefully that means that we're going to have a great, significantly more playable Star Citizen later this year. And with that in mind, Alpha 4.0.2, that's in Open PTU. They've updated the release goals for that patch as well. They are focusing on trying to improve as many top key gameplay issues as possible, improve connectivity and stability, and get that new Supply or Die Pyro event in, which is part of that narrative mission storytelling, but is kind of like Jump Town for Pyro. They've added courier missions into Pyro, which is fantastic. Elevator behavior, they are trying to get that into a best possible place as they can. But yeah, a load of time has gone into stability performance and bug fix testing. In the latest patch, beyond enabling those courier missions, they also updated flight markers, better sorting of central markers and prioritizing ones closer to the center of the screen. They added new ship compass with performance improvements. They've restricted the Heartseeker weapon and gimbal to only work on the Heartseeker mount. There are a ton of fixes in this patch, from freight elevator fixes to getting stuck in server loading, queue position 1, fixing and improving bits with the star map and quantum travel, those annoying quantum travel markers being invisible, loads of performance improvements, lots of improvements made to the Supply or Die event and AI around those areas and around depots, not just walking over fires and things like that. The Starfarer may be able to actually work with refueling and taking payment again. There should be significantly less problems, as I said, at depots as well. There are a load of known issues, though, some of which are pretty egregious blockers. Elevators can be present, but their buttons stop functioning. That can be because the elevator's not resetting properly or not actually there. The transit in some landing zones has no collision, which is a shame because you require collisions to walk on the floor without falling through it. PvP missions not working, some mission accessibility issues, also things like party members not displaying on the mini-map or star map. The new player experience or tutorial stopping progressing when you're actually playing it. Problems moving items off your character, and ship weapons sometimes not firing. That's pretty annoying, right? The patch actually is starting to look pretty good, at least on paper. That said, often patches start to get into a good place, or they get into a really good place by the end of the PTU, and then seem to explode when they hit the live build. CIG have said this can be for lots of reasons, including like a fog of war of bugs, where they fix a load of bugs and then more appear after they fix the original problem, or it reveals others, or the actual fix caused more problems. And sometimes it's because they haven't got enough eyes on a particular build, and when they do get it out to live and there's a load more people playing it, well, actually those other bugs reveal themselves. So at the moment, I'm pretty hype about this patch because they are really focusing on trying to get the bugs sorted. You're going to have a load of devs that sole purpose is to improve the game. So trying to get problems with Vulcan sorted, trying to get your performance improved, trying to get all those bugs sorted, and I really like that. But obviously there's a load of people there as well trying to push that new mission content and expand out and improve other features. So I'm really up for this. I think this is great. I'm really interested to know how you think it's going to play out. Are you playing 4.0.2? What's your experiences of that? Did you get involved with the narrative missions with Save Stanton and Fight for Pyro? Are you upset that you weren't able to complete one of them because of bugs? Are you really looking forward to getting more involved in Star Citizen with this focus on content and actually things to do in game that get you to play effectively? Or is it still too buggy for you? Is it like, oh yeah, I know there's going to be rewards that are effectively permanently added to your account, but I want a game that's got like no more wipes ever, and at the moment Star Citizen's too buggy for me. Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, including, do you think the Perseus is coming soon? Could it turn up in May for Fleet Week? Maybe. What's that? You're desperate for some NordVPN? Well, that's great, because that's what I'm going to be advertising to you now. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer to get yourself some NordVPN. You want a VPN? Try Nord. You click on the links below, you buy it, it gives me money. That is the best thing in a VPN that I have ever seen. No, but more seriously, for better accessibility, privacy, and security on your interwebs, try NordVPN. I love it. You probably will too. We've got a ship giveaway as well. We're giving away a Misk Fortune with lifetime insurance, a game package, some skins from the Red Festival, kindly given to us by CIG. Just comment on any of my videos made during this month to be in for a chance of winning that. And remember to like, share, subscribe, click the join button. That helps the channel, as does Patreon. Anything like that. Thanks very much for watching. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the verse.